Cecil Shorts. Cecil, welcome to the program,
What's up,
brother.
Cecil?
How are you?
Earl Spence, good morning, y'all. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. So first question to you. I asked this question, but it's a brand new audience. The rookies are in camp right now. Take us back to your rookie season back in Jacksonville. How was it for you as a rookie walking into camp that first time?
Man, like we talked on the Ultimate 216 show on YouTube, got to plug that every time. It was crazy because we had the lockout that year. So we get drafted, and then we don't have any contact with coaches. We don't have any contact with anybody in the organization. So I went down to Jacksonville for like a week to hang out with a few players, do some 7-on-7s, and then I came back, and that was it. So I was literally working on roofs and trying to, provide for my girlfriend at the time, who's my wife now, and she was pregnant. So I'm working on roofs and working out in Alliance, Ohio, trying to figure out what's next and what to do. And then all of a sudden, a month and a half later, we get a phone call, say, hey, we're going to fly you down from Alliance to Jacksonville for training camp. I said, okay, cool. We get down there, and then my eyes are wide open because I've never seen, a facility in person up to that point that I actually get to stay in, and I'm here every day, and I see Maurice Jones-Drew, and I see Mercedes Lewis and Rasheem Mathis and David Garrard and all these guys. I'm like, wow, I'm here. And then you got team meetings, these Jack Del Rio and all these coaches, this Ernest Biner, who's one of the running back coaches. So it was a surreal moment. It's a cool moment, but it's finally, as a rookie, you're like, okay, I went through the draft process. I went through the combine. I went through pro days. I went through official visits here and there. Now it's go time. Now I can kind of not relax, but it's like, all right, I don't have to prove to 32 teams no more. I got to prove to this one team that I'm available, that I'm valuable, that I can go out there and really play. So it's an exciting time. It's nerve-wracking at the same time, but it's something that you look forward to. And when you're finally in that camp, the fans make it special. You can just feel the tension on the field, like, okay, it's go time. And you really want to go out there and play well at that high level. So it was an amazing experience. And the rookies, it's go time for real.
Cecil, I really appreciate your perspective on this, being a former player, obviously. And we were just talking along the lines of like entering the league. We were talking about the Quinshon Judkins stuff and the legal situation he's caught up in, and like the fact that it's compounded by not having his contract signed just yet. I'm curious though, I guess taking a step away from Quinshon specifically, and maybe because it was part of the lockout year, you had a different experience. But how do teams approach like the subject of potential troublesome situations that a player could get in that maybe turn into bigger legal problems with rookies when they enter the league, and how to sort of handle those things and also avoid those things?
I think one, for the organization, they do all their due diligence. So they talk to the agent, they talk to the player, they talk to the police. They do all the due diligence in the world to make sure, hey, we're going to stand by the kid, or we're going to let the legal process play itself out, right? Either or. But they do their due diligence for sure, and they know exactly what's going on, what's ahead. A lot of the time, the player and the organization know what's about to happen before it happens. Like it's talked inside, it's talked about firsthand, and then it hits the public. So I'm sure they have an idea or getting an idea of what's really going on. And then from a player standpoint, literally every time we go on a break, meaning we have a long period of time before the next practice. So like, for example, if you're there for mini camp and you are going away for Memorial Day weekend, or if you're there for, mini camp's over, boom, now you got this month and a half break before training camp starts. The coaches let you know, like, hey, do not get in no trouble. There is an X on your back. So you can do the smallest thing, but because of your name and who you work for and what you do, anything and everything that you do is going to be exploded and out there. And once it's out there, it's hard for us to get back unless, So they let us know early on. And every single time we have a break, don't get in trouble, y'all. Stay out the way. Do the right thing. They try to give us a warning. But it's hard for a 21-year-old, a 22-year-old, a 23, right? Even guys that are older, vets in the league, you have this ego at times, this persona that you're bigger than the law, you're bigger than life. And I'm not saying this about Quinshon at all. I'm just being honest right now. It's hard because you kind of feel like you're famous. So you kind of feel like nothing can happen to you. And then when something happens, it's like, damn, like, dog, I was warned about this, boom, 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 boom. So I'm rooting for Quinshawn. I'm hoping everything comes around. I think he's a heck of a player. Again, we don't know all the details and everything that's going on, but it's interesting because if he would not have gotten in trouble, I'm pretty sure he would have been signed by now. Yesterday and the day before, so many guys, R.J. Harvey, other rookies have Luther Burden III. So many other rookies have signed and they've got their guaranteed contracts. They got something similar to what Jaden Higgins kind of got, which he kind of set the market for the second round picks, right? So he would have got what he wanted most likely if this wouldn't have happened. So now I'm wondering, it's probably going to be something in the contract, a clause in the contract that is going to be in there that he probably didn't want before. And he probably won't get exactly what he wanted before. So hopefully he can learn from this, stay out the way, and then tote that rock for us like Nick Chubb and Jim Brown and everybody else for the Browns.
He's Cecil Shorts, former NFL wide receiver, joining us on the fan hotline. Cecil, we had a caller, Wayne in Streetsboro, who said he was a former inner city Muni League football coach. And he talked about, the importance of athletes really being present in the inner city. He talked about, some athletes take their camps and they take them to these high schools in the suburbs. I know you did a camp at our old high school, Collinwood High School. Justin Hardy, he holds a free camp at Glenville High School. How important is it for these athletes, to be present in these communities? And if you're going to host a football camp, how important is it for these camps to be hosted in the high schools in the inner city?
Well, I'll be honest. I think football camps need to be hosted everywhere. You know what I mean? I think in the inner city and in the suburbs. You can't take away something from a certain type of kid because they don't live in the inner city or their parents took them out of the inner city, right? I think for those that are from the inner city, go back to where you come from. Absolutely. Absolutely, because the representation is needed. There's hope that's needed. There's a dedication there. There's something I feel like I had to owe back to the community I came from, right? Because I understand what it meant to go back to that community and put on something, and they have an idea of, okay, this doesn't happen all the time. So let me go out there and explore. And it's just something special for the kids and for the parents for the opportunity. But at the same time, if you went to Bedford, if you went to Shaker, if you went to Streetsboro, if you went to whoever, go back to your community where you grew up from, because the same hope is needed for those kids. You see what I'm saying? So I truly believe, I agree with them, but I think, man, football camps, hope, just representation is needed in all aspects of the community, not just one particular community. Now, I'm from the inner city, so obviously I'm a little biased, and I went back there 4 or 5 years in a row and gave my camp there. But also, man, South Euclid, like anywhere around the city, like all kids need it. All kids have that special feeling. And I'll never forget when we had, I think it was multiple Browns players come up to Collinwood, but we were in high school. Romeo Cornell came up to Collinwood when we were in high school. Like, you never forget those moments. So no matter where you are, it's special to the kid, right? It's special to that community. It's special to the parents. It's special to everybody that's involved. So it's pretty dope, man. And I'll be honest with you, I've never seen what Shedeur Sanders is doing this early on in a player's career. Like, I've never seen that before. Like, I've never seen a rookie come into the league and before he even played a snap is already in the Garden Valley projects dealing with or throwing a fun fest for the people that are struggling after that fire, right? I've never seen him go to a KFC and in the city and interact with kids and sing his song with a fan. I've never seen this, all the things he's doing. As soon as he got drafted, the first week he was here, he's in John Marshall High School or wherever he was. Like, it's a special thing he's doing. That's not normal, right? And what he's doing is he's winning the fans over. He's winning the city of Cleveland over. He's winning the surrounding cities of the surrounding suburbs of Cleveland. He's winning those parents over. And when you do that, when you got them on your side, oh man, we're gonna rock for you. Y'all know that, Spence and Earl. We're gonna rock for you no matter what. When you get back to your community and you're there and you're present and it's genuine, right? It's genuine. And that's what gives me, to me, it's genuine. Because a lot of the times the guys will go after they have a Pro Bowl season or after they made some plays in the game, or you'll see them out there with their jersey on, and it's all these Browns people around them. This is him and his crew doing it because he wants to do it. That's a really big deal. And again, this brings hopes to everybody watching. This brings hope to all races. This brings hope to every single person that's like, whoa, he took his time out to come to my community or to talk to me or to interact with me. I see this guy on TV every Saturday, every Sunday. I see him on the draft. I see him talked about. Like, that's a really big deal. So it's important for all communities.
See, so I'm glad you brought that up. We opened the show talking about Shedeur doing all this stuff in the community and how, listen, like no matter how we feel about Shedeur from a football standpoint of like maybe he shouldn't have been a 5th-round pick, he is a 5th-round pick. Like, he's not guaranteed the starting job here. It's not like he was taken number 2 overall, and he's already making an impact. Guys are on vacation. He's been here the last like couple weeks, like working out at schools and going and doing community stuff. Like, he's walking the walk. And I do think, to your point, like, we spent so many years, so many decades in Cleveland looking for a franchise quarterback who, yeah, like the football stuff matters most of all when it comes to being a franchise quarterback, but that also does these things. And he's doing it right off rip. Like, to me, that means something. I feel like he's already sort of cementing like, hey, I can handle this. I can be this for you. And now the football part of it just has to follow it, and hopefully starting a training camp next week.
I tell you what, if the football part follows, like I think it will, we got something in Cleveland. Like, we got something, we got something special brewing, like, big time. And now it's about building around him. So I think that's the easy part for him. Is now it's all right, let him go out there and ball out preseason, ball out training camp. And it's going to be intense. All eyes are going to be on the quarterback situation, right? We all going to be watching it. I mean, I was talking with Earl on Ultimate 216. Check it out on YouTube. Plug again. So we were talking about how in the spring, everybody was tracking the stats in 7-on-7 or team or what was going on for each quarterback. It's going to be even worse in training camp, even worse in preseason. I wouldn't say worse, but even more intense in training camp and preseason, because it starts to really come down who's going to start day one. And when is one of the rookies going to start? Because obviously we know we're getting from Joe Flacco. We know we're getting from Kenny Pickett. We know we're going to get from Deshaun Watson if he's ever able to play again, which he shouldn't, by the way. So now it's about the 2 rookies. Like, all right, cool. Which one can step up? And I think Shedeur is to me, Shedeur is much better as far as if you just look at what the pre-draft guys were saying, Shedeur should have been a 1st, 2nd round pick easily. So I don't think there's no question of his ability. It's about him getting the opportunity and him taking advantage of the opportunity.
So you're a former NFL wide receiver. You know, outside of Jerry Jeudy, there are a lot of questions about the Cleveland Browns wide receiver room. How do you assess that group? Do you like the group? Do you think they should kind of scour what's out there in free agency and add to it as we get ready to open camp? What's your thoughts on the Cleveland Browns wide receiver room for 2025?
It may be one of the worst groups on the team, just simply because there's a lot of potential, but potential doesn't mean you haven't done anything yet, right? You look at the Cedric Tillman. He showed his butt off for about 3 games and then had a concussion, right? So you see the potential in him, but he has to do it over a course of a 17-game season. You look at a Thrash, you look at other guys on that roster that have potential, but they haven't really done anything yet, right? If you look at Deontay Johnson, you went out and grabbed him. You went out and got him in free agency. He got kicked off with 2 teams last year. Like, he was on a playoff team, 2 playoff teams last year, and got cut within a month of each other. So my issue with him is, like, is his attitude going to be worth? Is his attitude going to be worth the talent? You know what I mean? It's going to be worth. Is his play going to be worth dealing with that attitude every week if he doesn't change, right? Because he's still 28 years old. He still can play. If he gets his act together, the boy can still play no matter what. But I do think you need to add competition to the room. I'm a firm believer in when you bring in competition, the cream will rise to the top. I'm a firm believer in that. So I think you should go out and get a Gabe Davis. A young kid who was balling in Buffalo, has made some big plays made some big plays down the field for Josh Allen a couple years ago, struggled last year in Jacksonville. He's out in the market. You can get him for cheap and have him come in and compete. Somebody that's young, that's vibrant, that's known for being good in the locker room, right? I still think you should go out and probably get another vet. You know, I'm not sure Keenan Allen will want to come here because he probably wants to win. He's in his late 30s. But go out and bring somebody else in to compete for this, to help elevate this room. Because this room needs to be elevated no matter who the quarterback is, right? One of the best things you can do for a younger quarterback, or any quarterback, but especially a younger quarterback, so I'm assuming Dylan or Shedeur will be starting at some point this year and we'll get a good resume on him this year, is a running game, right? So you got your running game in Quinshawn and Dylan Sampson, right? And Jerome Ford possibly. Now, okay, once you play action, who are you throwing the ball to? You got Jerry Jeudy. You got Cedric Tillman. You got Deontay Johnson. And one of those guys go down, who's next after that? You don't have a lot of depth, right? And again, Cedric is 3 games. He shows a 3-game sample. So, and to me, I'll be honest with you about Jerry. Outside of that huge game, I think it was against Denver where he went crazy. I think he averaged under 60 yards a game. Outside of that huge game. So to me, there's still something that Jerry needs to prove. That, hey, besides the Denver Broncos, who I was mad at because they drafted me first round, I wanted to prove. And without Jameis, I'll be honest with you, Jameis Winston is every receiver's favorite quarterback because they're going to throw him. He's going to throw them the ball. Now, the head coach can't stand him because he's going to throw, like we saw, 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Like that's just Jameis. But every receiver loves him because we're going to throw that thing, right? So I'm curious, can Jerry Jeudy do it again? That's his challenge. If he can do it again, all right, he's a one for sure. But can he do it again? That's the tough part. That's the tough part for Jerry. Trust me, I watched him thoroughly. I love his route running. I love his separation. To me, it's the catching. Can he be consistent with the catching, right? Can he be consistent making the big play? Can he be consistent? Whoever the quarterback is, can they consistently find him, get open, make big plays down the field? So it's a room that's one of the, and I think I said one of the worst rooms. It's a room that needs to be improved on big time. And those guys in the room need to step up and play well. And if they do that, obviously the room can elevate, but they need some help for sure.
Cecil, man, we thank you for joining us today for this interview on the Fan Hotline. As we wrap with this, Spencer, watch this. Hey, whose house?
Woodhouse.
Chemistry is everything. Much love, bro. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Appreciate you, Cecil.
All right, Spencer. Y'all take care.